You know what I mean? Listen, I ain't gonna say a brother's name. You know what I mean? But certain brothers, when they come up in this truth, man, they be like, God damn, man, but what about the shaper? It's a rough situation. Not realizing that's an African custom. Right. That's an African custom. When you see them, I think the precept is in Deuteronomy 14, when it talks about, you know what I mean, cutting your edges and then piercing your body all crazy. You ever see them with the, you know, cutting their lips and cutting their body open and putting plates in it? And then that's an African custom. That's heathen customs. And let me explain something to every so-called brother that's a Pan-African, that's or Egyptologist. You ain't a real Egyptologist or Pan-African. Because I ain't see a brother cut his lips open not one time and put a plate in it. Or open up his ears, none of that. You seen it, Bakari? No. You know what they do? They get shea butter and black soap. And a dashiki and a red and black and green flag. You confuse. I'm trying to be good. Got some sorry brothers, man. It's a damn shame. You ain't African, and nor should you want to be one. Let me tell you something, y'all. I thank the Most High every day that I ain't no heaven. I ain't listen. Y'all got a problem. Our people got a problem with colorism, and it's bad. You think everybody that got melanin, you die. You should hear some of the fools I be talking to. They be like, it's the melanin you die of. The melanin. A brother told looked me in my face at the slavery and said, the melanin is what give niggas powers. It's what gives us special abilities on why melanated people can do what nobody else can do. I said, if that's the case, right? Where's the African LeBron James? Where's the East Indian Usain Bolt? He out there playing cricket somewhere in the Thunder. He out there playing cricket. Where's the Asian Simone Biles at? Where's the Samoan, you know what I mean, Serena Williams? Where are they at? Even if you want to go to the inventor side of things, how come every major and minor invention that was made here was made by Blacks and Latinos? Where are your people at? Where are they at? What are they doing? Nothing. Because they not like us. Right. They not Salaki, who are Israelites, to whom pertain to the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law, the service of God and the promises. We're the ones that was given that. Bakari, give me Deuteronomy 7:6. We're the ones that were given those things. And what we have to realize is the more time that we spend trying to dwell on them and give them, and which is so sad, you're trying to give our inheritance and our salvation to those that hate us. They cannot stand us. You got to realize that the oppressor works hard every day to keep us into the dark. The last thing they want you to do is come into the ISUPK and the Commander General Yohana and find out that you're an Israelite. They don't want that. Let me Deuteronomy 7:6.
Deuteronomy 7:6. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Listen, man. Listen. It says, thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. Oh, we are the holy people unto the Lord thy God, a separate people. Keep going.
Come. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
The Lord chose us to be a special people unto himself. That should tell you something right there. He chose us to be a special people. Ain't nothing special about these other nations besides them being slow. Y'all didn't know that, right? Moab is slow. Y'all do know that, right? Moab invented a weapon that can hurt himself. And y'all sit up there and act like he's a genius. You sitting up there with nunchaku. Fucking your own, slacking for the language, messing your own elbows and arms up, harming yourself. Thinking he got some deep philosophy. Some of y'all brothers look at Bruce Lee and act like he's the greatest fighter to ever walk the earth. I stand here And I hate to tell you this to your soul, Black and Latino, First Nation man that love Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was a Chinese Steven Seagal.
Right.
He was an actor. A Chinese Steven Seagal. He was an actor. Go ahead, brother. I know I heard your feelings. I know you like Bruce Lee. I'm joking, brother. I'm joking. I'm messing with you. He raised his hand like, no, nigga, I ain't gonna let that slide. Go ahead, brother. I'm messing with you.
But I'll say this, and I can't remember where it's at, but it shows that in our history, we was beating them up. Like when you think, like when you see those old Chinese exploitation movies, and then they show like I forget one of David's men, and they like he plucked the spear out of Moab, one of the king of chief.
Give me the precept. Not to cut you off, brother. Give me the precept with the lion like men of Moab. Give me that precept.
Yeah, we
Listen, let me explain something to you. That 1-inch punch, it looked cool. I want you to look up a black man by the name of Victor Moore. Victor Moore was a 10th degree black belt. And he whooped Bruce Lee's ass. Yes, he did. Come on, raise your hand next time. Yeah, you could, but raise your hand. He gave it to him. He ain't just beat up him. He beat up Chuck Norris, beat up all of them. And then they try to demonize the brother. And they cut it. But every master that was there at tournament, they all was laughing at Bruce Lee. Because he was an actor. Y'all make it seem like that Moab is just, I know y'all watched all up into it. You're like, well, this is real. This is this is that. Brother, all of it is fiction. You know who Moab and Ammon, the Chinese and Japanese, base their fiction off of? They base it off of us. They base it off of us. I'll give you a small one, right? Animated brothers watched it. I watched back in the day called Baki the Grappler. A lot of Japanese people admired Muhammad Ali, admired him. Really did. A lot of people admired him, period, because of how great he was. That's why they call him the greatest, the GOAT, the greatest to ever do it. And guess what? They done made comic books like in DC, Superman versus him. They done put him in different anime and different shows. We're real life superheroes to these other nations. And the only way they can combat that is by creating a character while we live that out. The real Superman is a brother. Alawat Panya. All right.
Clap it up. Put it on. Ask him to water your day. All right. Let's get ready. I'll answer all of your questions in the room and online. We'll give you a breakdown today. I think we never did the breakdown on what black jobs are. That's from Donald Trump. I'm trying to see what he's talking about. Black jobs, all right? You need the LeBron James thing, you let me know. Besides that, I'll answer every question that you have loaded out, all right? You'll be ready, let me know. Hang your phone unless you need it there, right?
We go to 6. Can you read the first question?
This is from
Ours from Officer Nawonya Olive. Just like it said, are there female angels, or can an angel appear to you as a woman the same way an angel can appear to you as a man?
No, there are female angels. They're rarely spoken of in the Bible. I believe there's one precept about someone seeing a female angel. There's no other account of a female angel. Not found. Next.
Colonel Concert. Larry Littlejohn asks, does Galatians 3:28-29 mean that God also loved Gentiles as well as Jews?
No, that scripture is speaking about the whole house of the nation of Israel. In the nation of Israel, you have Gentiles and Jews in this nation of Israel. You are a Gentile. Why do I call you a Gentile? Because you were not born in Israel where you were raised up keeping the law. Circumcision on the 8th day of your birth, because you have worshiped strange gods in your life, because you come from a family of sinners. Your mother is a sinner. Your father is a sinner. According to the Bible, that would make you a Gentile. Please.
Question the brother asked, I will put myself. And what the precept was Zechariah chapter 5, verse 5 and 9.
That's correct. I'm sorry, were you making a point, or you wanted me to answer a question?
No, I was letting you know the question he asked, because I want to know for myself.
Yeah, that's the one where that's the precept I was discussing, right? Absolutely. That's talking about female angels. Why? Because the Most High God and the angels during the creation, they made us like them. So the rules that we have down here, we got them from the rules that are up there. So an angel could never become a woman, of course, because you cannot become a woman. So these are female angels. They have some purpose in the kingdom of heaven. This scripture describes them being seen in a vision, and that's the only one. These are female angels as opposed to transgender angels. Everyone understands. Next.
Rocky, I'll ask Slocky if I could. I gotta break down Deuteronomy chapter 14 and verse 1.
No problem, warrior. Go ahead and pull it up for me.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4.
Deuteronomy 14 and verse 1.
You ready?
Come. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, verse 1. Ye are the children of the Lord, your God. Ye shall not cut yourselves, nor make any baldness between your eyes for the dead.
This is the law that forbids us for keeping the practices of the Egyptians. When you read about the entire book of Leviticus, the entire book of Exodus, those rules that we have in the Old Testament, those rules were set up by the Most High God specifically to separate us from the Egyptians, who were our number one influence for 300 years. But the Most High God was giving us a land of our own, a language of our own, rules, laws of our own. And so you're going to find laws all throughout the Old Testament, the first 5 books of Moses, that specifically are there to stop us from doing what the Egyptians were doing. This is one. The Egyptians believed that it was unholy for you to have hair on your head and hair on your face. They believed that being bald was pure. Shaving all the hair off your head, off your face, was pure. They believed if someone died in your family, you should tattoo their name on your body. I know most of you do that right now today in America, which is currently Egypt, the land of our captivity. There's a specific law about things that we cannot do because the Egyptians do them. You can also find what I just described in Leviticus, the 18th chapter. Come on.
Sir, just make clarification. Shaving the borders between your eyes is shaving the eyebrows.
That's shaving your eyebrows. That's correct. That's shaving off your eyebrows for the dead. You understand? So now your grandmama dies. All grandmothers are going to die. All grandfathers are going to die. That's the way of things, young man. Many times in the Black and Hispanic community, because we are so sad constantly because of how we've been brought up, even the normal cycle of life can destroy us. You lose your grandmother, you're going to get hooked on cocaine and live out in the streets because you lost an 85-year-old woman. 85-year-old women die. Here's what you can't do. What you cannot do is shave off your eyebrows because your grandmother died. That's what the Egyptians did. Everyone understands? Come on. Keep reading.
Oh, Slavi. Verse 2, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Why? Because you're a holy people. The Egyptians did that. The word holy means separate. You're not like them. You're a separate people from the Egyptians. Everyone understands? Go ahead.
And the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people.
He doesn't want you to be like every other nation and follow their customs and their practices of shaving their eyebrows off whenever someone dies in their family, so they can walk down the street and everyone can go, oh, did you lose somebody? Is that why you don't have any eyebrows? That's why you tattoo your mom's name on you, so that you can start the conversation of, here's my mom. See, this is my friend Joey right here. This is my friend Malik. Over here, you got Too Tall Tony right here. Yeah, I lost my dad and my grandmom. You're a damn Subway in Harlem. And women, you look disgusting with tattoos. You look like a Subway in Harlem, and you want someone to treat you like a princess. Well, these things are what the Egyptians did. They did this, but you're separate from other people. You are a peculiar people. You're different. You're different from them. Don't mourn your dead the way they mourn theirs. Continue. Let me know when I'm done with the brother's question.
Unto himself above all the nations that are upon the earth.
Here we go. Unto himself, meaning he makes you like him. He gives you what he wants, his culture. The culture of heaven. You got a warning right here already. Okay, he gives you his culture, the culture of heaven. And read the last part about the nations.
Above all the nations that are upon the earth.
It's a risky thing. I'll try. I'll do my best. Read that last part.
Above all the nations that are upon the earth.
Equal to the Egyptians.
Above all the nations upon the earth.
But we all have the same God. We just call them different names.
Above all the nations.
You see, that's the Bible. The Israelites are above all the nations on the earth. It's in the Bible. The Most High God gave us a rule to conduct our lives like that. Those of us that couldn't do it, we were cut off from our nation, and we were called Gentiles. We were called another nation, which is what the word Gentiles means, because we refused to keep these rules that made us separate from every nation. So now you're a Gentile. You're not an Israelite anymore. You're an African American. You're not an Israelite anymore. You're a Mexican. You're not an Israelite anymore. You're a Sioux or a Cheyenne or a Seminole Indian. You're a Haitian, which means you are a Gentile. You are another nation. But we were not chosen and made by God to be like everyone else. We were made to be a peculiar people, and these are part of the customs that we took on to make sure of it. Anything else? Next.
This is from Officer Omar. That's like, I got to break down 2 Corinthians 6:10, where Paul says having nothing but possessing everything.
Okay. Go ahead, pull it up.
Book of 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 10. As sorrowful, yet always rejoicing. As poor, yet making many rich.
One verse above it.
As
This scripture is talking to brothers in the school. Like every letter in the New Testament is speaking to the schools that the Apostle Paul was over and was guiding, right? So read one verse above it, please.
As unknown and yet well known.
He's describing the wisdom on how you should live your life if you're in the truth. You live your life as unknown, but well known. So you're not going to behave like you're a superstar. You're not going to behave like the preachers do. The preachers behave like, they're politicians. They sit with presidents. They behave as if every preacher really is / a politician, every last one. If a politician gives a speech, he does it like a sermon. They all do it. They give a speech. They know that God wants this, and God bless America, everybody. Every politician does the impersonation of a preacher when he does a speech. And every preacher behaves like a politician. They all behave like they're the biggest thing in the world, that they control what everyone does. You won't be like them. You're not going to be like them. This is what you'll do. Read it again.
As unknown.
As unknown, go ahead.
And yet well known.
And yet well known. So you'll behave like no one knows you. Yet everyone knows you. You're going to be humble, young man. That's what you'll be. You won't act like, you're not going to get to be a superstar rapper in here. You can forget whatever garbage that is in your stupid mind. A lot of you, because you're from a tribe called the tribe of Judah, who is glory hungry. It's your birthright, I understand. We all suffer from it if you're from the tribe of Judah. But the tribe of Judah is glory hungry. That's all they want to do is perform. You start them off at 5 years old. They pop lock it in front of the damn family review. They stand in front of the TV. This is how you know a Judite. The TV is center in the room. The Judite is going in front of the TV to stand there and let you, and so you can work out, so you can see this new dance routine. Because that TV is getting too much attention now. And so he has to stand in front of it. She has to stand in front of it, tell her funny jokes, knock jokes, and forget about the dance moves. That's all the Judite life is performing one dance routine after another or rapping. Why? Because you have an insane desire for glory. That's what you want. You want this. Oh, that's great. You better know that about yourself, because this job does not include that. That's not this. That's something else. You got to go and, go rap. Go do it. You need love. You need love in the form of praise. I understand. You must have love in the form of praise. This job isn't where you're going to get it, even though everyone praises you. Everyone knows you. You affect so many lives, but you're not going to act like you do. Everyone understands. Next. Let me continue.
As known and yet well known, as dying and behold, we live.
One more time.
God. As unknown and yet well known, as dying and behold, we live.
As dying, how do we behave? We behave like we're dying, like we're ill, like we're suffering, and yet we are here, and we are going to survive all of our enemies' demise. But how do we behave? We don't behave like that. Why? Because our people are dying. Our people are suffering. Our people are in pain. They're homeless. They don't have anyone to care for them or to love them. We do. We absolutely do. There's no chance any loyal member of this school goes without food or shelter. That doesn't happen in here. Commanding General Yohana will not allow it. But we will absolutely behave like we understand what they're going through. We'll behave like we're dying, although we live. Everyone understands? Next. I believe his question was somewhere else, wasn't it? Farther down.
Was it 10? 6 Yes.
So let me get a napkin, please, Mr. Thumia.
Khan, as sorrowful
As what?
sorrowful.
As what?
Sorrowful.
I believe you're getting the point from now. As sorrowful, meaning we'll behave like we're sorrowful, like we're sad for what we've done. Like we're sad for the things that we've done in the past. We'll behave like we're sad. Keep going.
Yet always rejoicing.
Yet always rejoicing. Why do we behave like we're sad if we're always rejoicing? Because the people we serve are sad. They're sad. They've lost. They're in pain. So you better be in pain. They're crying. So you better cry. Everyone understands. But really, we're happy every day. People think that we're so angry. I don't know what in the hell they're talking about. But I do know this. I do know that when I'm speaking, I am absolutely ferociously angry because my people are being attacked. I'm angry for them. You understand? I'm angry because of what's happening to them. As far as me, I'm just fine. Everyone understands. Next, I'm sorry, unless there's more.
Come. Yet making many rich, as having nothing, and yet possessing all things.
Here we go. I believe you get the point. Yet making many rich. Many people will be made rich because of the care that you give them, the focus, the attention, the wisdom, the kindness, the hard work that you put into them. Many people will be made rich. Yet you behave as if you have nothing. That's how you behave. That's humility. That's wisdom. This is what a real public servant is supposed to do. You worship politicians in reverence who serve themselves. But an actual public servant is supposed to live like this. He's supposed to represent you. You're sad, so am I. You're poor, so am I. You're in pain, so am I. And I do that not because of who I am, because who I am is irrelevant. What matters is who are the people I serve. And you have to be what they need you to be. Everyone understands. Next.
This is from Jimmy Remy. said, Shalom, General. I thank you for allowing me to ask this question. If you see fit, can you break down Numbers 24? And 16 and 17.
Absolutely. I put the water and I will answer the question, all right? Let me kind of move this somewhere else. I can set to the side of me.
Oh,
It's distracting me a taste, all right? You can put it somewhere up front so it can be in the same direction I'm looking at it, all right? If you don't mind. I appreciate it. Okay, so what? That's perfect. All right, go ahead.
So his point was, how was Balaam able to prophesy to Balak? Was Balaam a Moabite or Israel?
Balaam was an Israelite. He's speaking of about a brother in the scriptures who was the other nations were attempting to seduce him to curse the nation of Israel because he had the gift to curse or to bless. And they wanted him to curse the nation of Israel, and he refused. But then that's what I'm talking about. He's an Israelite, right? Your dad had jogged your memory? Yeah, he's an Israelite, right. Okay. I believe if that was his question, that's the answer. Was there anything else? Next, if you need more, just let me know. But I hope you don't see that in a X-Men United kind of way, or the origin of X-Men, because that curse is not like a superhero movie. That curse is not a spell, and it is a spell. All right. If you need more on it, you got to let me know. If not, I got to move on. Next.
Shalom, sir. I get a general breakdown of Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 9.
Go ahead.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 9. Thou shalt not sow thy vineyard with diverse seeds, lest the fruit of thy seed which thou hast sown and the fruit of thy vineyard be defiled.
Right. So all of these laws about clothing that has diverse, not material, what's the word they use? Diverse, what's the thing you put into a garment? You make a garment out of it. Say again?
Like linen.
Diverse, whatever that stuff is that you make, wool, silk. Fabric, something like that. I think fabric is the right word. All of those laws are about anti-scamming laws. Every last one, right? In this world, in America, all you can think about is someone scamming you day and night, right? But we have a list of laws you'll read right here. Every one of these laws are anti-fraud laws, so that you can't fraud anyone. If you're a farmer and you sow your seed with cucumbers that die as soon as you pick them, with cucumbers that last a long time, then you reach into your field and you say, see, these are the last a long time cucumbers. And they say, I'll take this field so I can sell it. Really, that field is full of cucumbers that die as soon as you pick them, which is why you can't plant diverse seeds in the same field, so that you don't cheat the people that you sell vegetables to. You can't cheat them. As you know now, in the modern supermarket, there might be 25 different kinds of cucumbers out. There's a watermelon that's made of, what's terrible? Apples. I mean, you're going to buy an apple that's going to be so damn delicious, you don't know what to do. I think they call it the honey electric crisp. They got a name like honey electric powerhouse apple. Then there's that other one my mom used to buy. That thing is good for nothing but hitting somebody upside the head with it. It's a pile of mush. Now they're both apples. Do you understand? Now they're both planted in the same place. I'll say, buy these. You want this, you want all of this, so you can sell it, you got it. I bite into one thing, and it's the honey electric crisp. It's not when I get them home, it's mush. You die.
I had this card in my slate. Break down the 15 different types of potatoes I had. We break it down. These will grow faster. These. Ones are better. This is not. I thought potatoes was potatoes. They're not.
Give him a hand. I'm glad you come to that. As y'all know, I have videos coming out this week before I go to Detroit about what Officer Udiah did. Me with these potatoes are. 2 days ago, Udiah. Now I'm growing the potatoes. I'm going to show you what I'm dealing with in about 3 days. There was a bag of them that did not sprout, so I couldn't plant it. It's like 100 of them. I planted 85. There was like 100 of them that didn't sprout. So I just put them away thinking these must not sprout. I come back 2 days ago, I just put them somewhere and they're sprouting insane. So now I got to plant 100 more, which leads to the question I wanted to ask tonight. Who wants some potatoes? I have no more room. So if anybody wants to grow some potatoes, I got 100. I have no place to grow them. If you want some, see me about them, because there's so many different kinds of potatoes. I was in Atlanta last week. I don't know what this sister's name is her husband. She's the wife of a brother in the school. They made a sandwich. This sandwich was so delicious. Part of the reason why is because it had one of the best tomatoes I've ever eaten in my life on the tomato. I've had 3 good tomatoes in my life. That's how bad tomatoes are that I remember them. This was the 3rd best tomato I've ever had in my life, because you're going to go to that store and buy a tomato and it's terrible. Unless you get that, what's that tomato that's from the past? The thing is from the Back to the Future, heirloom tomato. You get yourself an heirloom tomato, it's from the past. It is absolutely insane. Another tomato was like a mushy mess, ruining your whole damn sandwich. You can fool people because of so many different kinds of seeds. Not in our land, not in our culture. You're not allowed to fool people the way you can fool people in America. That's what this precept is about. Okay, you're going to have the delicious honey electric apples. They're right here. I play nothing else right here. No other apple with it. No other tomato with the heirloom from the past tomato. You're going to know what you're buying if you're buying from an Israelite farmer. Everyone understands. And you can do this with livestock, the same thing. There are certain livestock breeds out that are not going to survive the winter. They're going to die when the winter gets here. There are certain livestock breeds that are terrible at being mothers. They hate being mothers. They're going to kill the lamb or the calf. They can't do it. And you're going to buy that thinking that you're going to breed cows, but you have the kind of cow that hates being a mother to a calf, because there are so many different kinds of cows and goats and sheep, and you can do a lot of scamming unless there's a government that protects people from businesses who don't have scruples, from businesses who are unscrupulous and would take advantage of people and cheat people. In this government, you have that protection. Everyone understands because of this precept. Are we good to go here? Next. See me one more time. Thumb you up.
The next question is from Officer Shabaya. He says, if I may, can I get a general breakdown of Matthew 22-14?
No problem. Go ahead and read it.
Common sir, for Matthew chapter 22 and verse 14. For many are called, but few are chosen.
Any more? You better go 2 verses above it.
Common Matthew chapter 22. You want me to read?
Yeah, wherever you think the point starts.
It's a parable about the marriage.
Of course. Go ahead.
I'll start at verse 1. And Jesus answered and spake unto them again by parable, and said, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king, which made a marriage for his son, and sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding.
So, okay, to understand this, you got to focus in for a second, but it will become quite clear in a second, all right? Imagine a giant wedding feast, and this person is the king. So he goes and he invites, of course, the nobles, the people in his world, to come to the wedding of his prince or his princess. He sends out vast invitations to the nobles. Continue.
Verse 3, and he sent his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding, and they would not come.
So after he sent the invitations out, then he sent his servants out to bring the people to the wedding who were invited. They wouldn't come to the wedding. They refused to come to the king's wedding. Can you imagine that? They wouldn't come. Here's why. Go ahead.
Verse 4. Again, he sent forth other servants, saying, tell them which are bidden, behold, I have prepared my dinner.
He said, listen, the wedding is now. I prepared my dinner. That's how close we are to the wedding. The food is on the table. I sent out invitations a long time ago. I sent the people to get you. You couldn't come. Now the food is on the table. I'm telling you, it's time to come to the wedding feast. Continue.
Verse 5. But they made light of it.
They did what?
They made light of it.
They thought it was a joke. They didn't think it was a big deal at all to miss this celebration, to miss this feast. They made light of it. Continue.
And went their ways.
And then they left. The servant came to them and said, oh, I can't do that. I can't come. They thought it was a joke, and then they went about their business. Continue.
And went their ways, one to his farm, another to his merchandise.
Here we go. Now we to the point. One to his farm, another to his merchandise, meaning these were businessmen, rich men. I can't come to some wedding. I have a business to run. I can't come to some wedding. My farm needs my attention. I can't come to that wedding. You ready? I'll give him a second, everyone. Go.
And we'll count verse 5 in the middle. So like in verse 6. And the remnant took his servants and entreated them spitefully.
And the what?
And the remnant took his servants and entreated them spitefully.
And the people that were left, that's the remnant. The ones that didn't just laugh it off and leave and go handle their business. They took the king's servants and handled them spitefully. They treated them evilly because they came to invite them to this party that the king was holding. For his family. They treated the servants of the king with evil, with unkindness. Continue.
And slew them.
They did what?
And slew them.
And they killed the king's servants. They killed them. Keep going.
Verse 7. But when the king heard thereof, he was wroth.
But the king heard about what happened to his servants. He heard about what happened to them, and he was wroth. Wroth means angry. Keep going.
And he sent forth his armies and destroyed those murderers.
Now he sends someone else. He doesn't send the servants to give invitations. Now he sends his armies, his hunters. He sends them out to destroy those servants who harmed his other servants. Continue.
And burned up their city.
And he burned their cities down. He burned their New York, their Philadelphia, their Washington, D.C., their Guadalajara, their Sierra Leone, their Liberia, their France and their Russia, their Beijing. He burned their cities. Continue.
Verse 8. Then saith he to his servants, the wedding is ready, but they which are bidden were not worthy.
He told his servants, you know what? The wedding is ready, but the people I invited, they weren't ready for this dinner. They weren't ready for this wedding. The people I invited. Continue.
Go ye therefore into the highways.
So you know what? I invited rich people, farmers and men of merchandise. I invited them. They didn't want it. So they hurt the people I sent. So I had them unalived, and I burned down their cities. Now I'm going to send you out again, except this time you are going into the what?
Into the highways.
Come on.
And as many as ye find, bid them to the marriage.
Now I'm going to send you out into the highways. What is a way? Who knows? Let's ask Alexa. One second. I know you know, Warrior. Let me ask Alexa. Alexa. What does the term way mean?
As a noun, way is usually defined as manner, mode, or fashion. For more, ask
Alexa, what does the term the way mean?
The term way is a conjunction that indicates a method or course of action. It is used to connect two ideas or phrases in
Alexa, stop. I'm sure I'm not phrasing it right. The term way, like the term Milky Way, you've heard that term before, right? Milky Way, that's because ancient astronomers looked up in the sky and they saw a street that looked like a street of milk in the sky. That's why you have Broadway in New York, because the term way means street. He sent the next invitations to the streets. That's what he did. Instead of sending them to the farmers and the businessmen, he invited people from the street, from the highways. What is a highway? A street that has heavy access of people. A lot of people coming and going, like the campsites you have here in Philadelphia. That's why the UPK always goes to major intersections, major street corners in every city that we're in. We're looking for the highway, the place where all the people come and go. Why? Because now it's our turn to come to the wedding. Now it's our turn. It was the turn of Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King, and his father, who was another rich, preacher. All of the rich men who were at one time invited to this wedding, they didn't want to come. Who did he invite the first time? He invited the Sadducee and the Pharisee, who are literally the heirs to the Hashmonean dynasty, who are the heirs to the house. What's the house that did over there with the Hanukkah? Judah Maccabee. The Judah Maccabee family ruled after we expelled the Greeks. They became the Hashmonean dynasty, who became the Sadducee and the Pharisee. Oh, they were an ancient house, men of high repute, men who their grandfathers were Judah Maccabee. My God, man, that's a
aristocracy. That cat, you know where his blood goes to? The men that expelled the Greeks from Israel. This cat's bloodline is insane. He didn't want to serve Christ. He didn't want to do this job. So our king went out to the streets, man, and he found us. We don't come from rich men. My father died in his FedEx uniform. Ask Captain Tower. I remember seeing him in it. I walked into the bedroom. There my father is at 63, dead at 63 with his FedEx uniform on, and he would have been wearing that for the next 10 years. That's where I come from. The Tower War standing by the bed. He was not a rich man. You understand?